there is so much going on every day. It's hard to keep up with the amount of information coming my way. I am beside myself right now in figuring out how we move ahead. I am absolutely petrified of a vaccine. I am. I'm petrified of our future. I really am. If I ever thought that Agenda 2030, these goals, that the powers that be and the new order would take these extreme measures to shift us into a world we don't recognize, I just wouldn't have believed it. And now, I will never say never again, for sure. For sure. We are now being thrown into the pond, and that pond isn't a place where we recognize because it does not reflect who we are. We're being thrown into the communist pond. And what most Canadians and people from around the world don't realize is that every nation is on or has their blueprint plan. And the end game is Agenda 2030. Reaching these sustainable goals for the future of the earth. The problem is that a group of stakeholders, billionaires, power-hungry people have come up with their plan, but they're not requiring any input from the people. And in fact, I believe they're actually expecting big problems. I do. Because the plan is to keep our freedoms and hold them under states of emergency until they have every one of us in the world able to be traced through their contact tracing. It tells me that they are fearful of the will of the people. And right now, what they need to do is ensure that we are not going to get out and protest. And we are not going to do what we typically did. And in fact, now they've made that illegal. Until they get a trace on all of us. And this brings me to Alberta. Yesterday, I was going back and forth with a couple of people who had been sharing information from the UK and the fact that they were going to have this mandatory app. And of course, people I know were going, no. The government is saying it's mandatory. And in that thread, a girl from Edmonton, Michelle, sent me this. And it is the app from the Alberta government, and they're raring to go. It started on Friday. Already 10,000 people have put this in their phone. And this scares the hell out of me. I'm going to tell you how it works, and this is right from their from the Alberta government. Or sorry, not from the Alberta government. This piece is titled, Privacy Expert Says Flawed Alberta COVID-19 Contact Tracking App Shouldn't Have Been Released. In any case, let's go down to how it works first. Briefly, the voluntary app is aimed at helping Alberta Health Services alert people who might have been exposed to a person who tests positive for the coronavirus. It generates a series of random encrypted numbers called temporary IDs. Bluetooth captures a number if the device is within 2 meters of another device for at least 15 minutes over a 24-hour period. That creates a list of encrypted numbers on each device over the previous 21 days. If an app user tests positive for COVID-19, they will be asked to voluntarily upload the encrypted data to Alberta Health Services, which will call those on the list for contact tracing. That allows the agency to advise them on what to do, including being tested for possible exposure to coronavirus. That is scary. So, yes, the app is voluntary, but if you have a device within somebody who has that app, you're getting an ID. So in fact, you can be tracked. This is the sneaky measures that they're putting in. And I have to be asking, why? Why are they needing all this control for a virus that is a piddle in the pot compared to the seasonal flu? They never needed this before for the flu or any other illness for that matter. I mean, for God's sakes, in South America, malaria kills way more people than anything. This is insane. You being in Alberta, coming in contact with somebody who has that app, puts you in the matrix. And this is sneaky, pure and simple. I'm going to go to the top of this and just read what this article has to say. Alberta's new COVID-19 mobile tracking app is so flawed it shouldn't have been introduced, says privacy expert from Alberta. There is nothing in any of this as to how long the app will be around, how long the information collected from it will be used, and by whom in the world except Alberta Health Information Act allows it to be used for research anywhere, said Sharon Polsky, president of the Privacy and Access Council of Canada and CEO of Calgary-based Amina Corp, which advises organizations on privacy and data protection strategy. It's called ATB Trace Together. The app was released on Friday as the province starts to slowly allow private and public sector organizations to resume offering some services. Every single person coming in contact with these people that have this app are now tagged. There's serious problems with this. Yet, since a state of emergency and since our rights and freedoms have been taken, and I'm not from Alberta, I'm actually from Alberta originally, so I am speaking as an Alberta girl. But that's a serious violation of privacy. What's also interesting is the 15 minutes. If you are in contact with someone for more than 15 minutes a day in a 24-hour period, you're tagged. What's that all about? They seem really eager to get everybody in Alberta on this app, and fast. Those parks are not going to be open, Alberta. I can guarantee you this summer. It's not going to happen. And what I believe is that this and these apps that are being launched everywhere, because this is a global plan. Everybody's getting this. We just think it's all national and regional. It's not. There's a level of it everywhere. I believe these apps are essentially what is going to create the second wave. This is where it gets scary. And it's also going to up the tests in order to increase the need or perceived need for a vaccine. And Albertans are being literally tossed into the hamster wheel, and you're not going to get out. Same thing in the UK, and it's going to happen all over. They're talking about in Ontario right now. We need to be seriously concerned. It's all about liability. It is. And the corporations are going to be the ones to do the dirty here. For example, essential workers. Let's say the vaccine comes out and the essential worker wants to go to the job. Well, his family is going to be obliged to get that vaccine, right? Or her family is going to be obliged, because each time he or she comes home, perceivably, they are going to be a possible vector to the virus and to their job. That's how they're going to get them in. And then it goes down the line like that. It's going to be a need to work. I want to throw this in there because I truly believe it. With vaccines, I believe when someone's vaccinated, just like when they are sick, they should stay home. I believe that too. But I also believe somebody being vaccinated should be quarantined for 2 weeks. I do. Not necessarily 2 weeks, but until the virus that they're carrying and spreading is over with. Because a vaccine is essentially injecting that virus live or dead. It doesn't matter. You become a transmitter the minute it's in your body. I think we need to start looking at this instead of being on the defensive, where I continue to find the people that are actually the majority who don't want these vaccines. We're on the defensive, and I don't understand why. I think what we have to do is flip over to the offense, because our rights are being eroded. They are creating a second wave of this virus by design. They're involving us in their matrix, whether we like it or not. And from what I can see, the vaccine agenda will be mandatory in order to live in our society. We need to create offensive action and make our opinions well known. We need to quantify the numbers, because we know it's greater than 50%. I'd say it's at the 75 to 80% of people that do not want to do a vaccine. The only way they're getting us into this matrix is through the jobs. But by these people installing these apps, every time you are within 2 meters of them, whether you want to be involved or not, you are being made involved. It might be something that you have to ask somebody if you meet up with them, if they have the app, because I'm not meeting with somebody with that app. This is a new world, and we have to go into protection mode. And I don't mean defense. Protection mode in making sure we are not dragged into their matrix. But number 2, we need to get on the offense right now and create a campaign in order that, and a plan to quantify our numbers, to make sure they're heard. Because right now, they're not. They are rolling ahead, steamrolling our rights. And if we don't take a stand now, it's done. I am so concerned with why they require such control. What don't we know? What if we do submit to all of this? What's next? That's what scares me to death. And honestly, I thank God I don't have any children. I feel for you that do. But right now, they have a future of dystopia in front of them unless we stand up for our rights, for the land that we love, and the country that we love. Because this global vision, it's not a positive. Not for us.